This is a Sandler training audiobook, produced and distributed by Gildan Media in partnership with Sandler Training. LinkedIn, the Sandler way. 25 secrets that show salespeople how to leverage the world's largest professional network. Written by Sandler Systems Incorporated. Narrated by Pratt. The following dedication appears in the book. Special thanks. Any book worth reading is a collaborative effort. This one more than most. The list of helping hands here is a long one, but one name in particular stands out from all the rest. Special thanks go out to Coca Sexton for his support and guidance and for his many invaluable contributions to this project. Part 1. Change the game. Make it simple to connect with prospects using LinkedIn. Chapter 1. You're not alone. Social selling is not as tough as it seems. Sandler Training began work on this book because we found that many sales professionals struggle with this mysterious task called social selling. It's the kind of thing they know they should do, the kind of thing they are often told they're doing incorrectly, and maybe they even get frustrated with themselves because they sometimes don't know what to do. The good news is that social selling is easier and more intuitive than most people think. The 25 secrets, including this one, contained here, are only secret in the sense that, for most salespeople, the topics uncover best practices that haven't yet become part of a sales team's daily culture. The key is to use, share, and reinforce these ideas. Our first request to you, then, is that you be willing not only to learn, but to adopt and model these best practices so that they become the practical daily realities of your selling day, not only for yourself, but for everyone in your organization who sells for a living. Don't forget, too, that you have help if you need it. Feel free to visit Sandler.com to connect with a Sandler trainer who will keep you up to date on all the newest social selling information. Chapter 2. Social Selling for Anyone Who Sells for a Living. Put LinkedIn Sales Navigator to work. Full disclosure. Sandler is a ceaseless, dedicated advocate of LinkedIn and its Sales Navigator application. Whether or not you're currently using Sales Navigator, we thought you might be interested in our answers to the most common question we get about this resource. Professional salespeople from various industries say to us, "My time is tight. With all the other resources for salespeople out there that I could invest my time figuring out, why is Sales Navigator worth the learning curve?" Short answer number 1. The learning curve is ridiculously short. The time to mastery gap for Sales Navigator is very short. You will be up and running in under a day. The guiding force driving this tool is the question, why not make it simple for salespeople to connect with prospects via LinkedIn? It's easy to get started, learn best practices, and achieve success with this tool. This video gives you an overview. Go to bit.ly/sales_navigator. Short answer number 2. It's simpler than what you're probably doing now to generate leads. Sales Navigator gives you an easier, more intuitive way to view more prospects. It will almost certainly make it easier to leverage your own network of contacts and those of your company than what you're doing now. It allows you to access the networks of people within your own organization in a way you're not able to with free LinkedIn or any other platform. That means if Jim in accounting is connected to Juan, a prospective buyer you want to meet, it will be easier for you to figure that out and far simpler to connect to Juan than the way you're selling now. By the numbers. On average, social selling leaders enjoy these benefits: 45% more opportunities created, 51% more likely to achieve quota, and 80% more productive. LinkedIn Sales Navigator helps sales professionals be more successful at social selling by leveraging 300 million plus professional profiles and 2 million plus company pages. Short answer number 3. It puts you in control of a proven social selling process. Sales professionals are increasingly finding value in building their own leads and pipeline through social selling. Sales Navigator is designed to quickly get you to the point where you use social selling intuitively, every day, to identify and engage with live prospects who connect to your LinkedIn network. When we talk to Sales Navigator users about why the tool is of value to them, what we hear is that it answers a question that's been left unanswered. There has been a lot of discussion in recent years around the question, what is social selling? But the right answer has sometimes been hard to formulate. Sales professionals want to master social selling, but they found there is no agreement on exactly what it was and no way to operationalize it consistently across an entire sales team. There wasn't one tool that made social selling a viable daily reality for everyone on the team. The question became, wouldn't life be a lot easier if there were? LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the manifestation of that vision. It makes social selling easy and available to everybody. You don't have to be a LinkedIn wizard, and you don't have to know how to do advanced searches or find a dozen different ways to work your way through the system to get things done. You can use your own network of business contacts and your company's network to take an account-centric view of the world. This tool cuts through all the noise. And finally, short answer number 4. You don't have to change anything you've already set up. Sales Navigator integrates seamlessly with your CRM tool and makes it more powerful. You can sync up the data daily. For a free 30-day trial of LinkedIn Sales Navigator, please visit bit.ly/sales_navigator. Part 2. Create a client-focused, client-attracting profile. Use your LinkedIn profile to appeal to a specific target audience. Chapter 3. Supercharge your LinkedIn profile. Set a solid foundation for your social selling. Let's face it, most LinkedIn profiles don't make very interesting reading. For salespeople, that's a problem. Consider, a LinkedIn profile is a perpetual introduction to the online world. That profile is up and running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's often the first or second thing that comes up when someone searches for a person's name. In short, it's an opportunity. But if your LinkedIn profile bores people, makes them think you're trying to pressure them into doing something they don't feel like doing, or leaves them wondering what you're trying to say, you're in trouble. If you don't fix the problem, you are mishandling your virtual introduction to countless potential customers every minute of every day. Any salesperson who consistently botches the introduction is likely to encounter some career problems. By the numbers, there are an average of 53 million views of LinkedIn profiles each day. The main thing for salespeople to remember about LinkedIn is this. It is a huge, never-ending, virtual networking event, and you always have to be ready with the best response to the question, what do you do? That's the question your LinkedIn profile is supposed to answer. But most salespeople write their profile as though they were being asked other questions. For instance, what is your career history? Or, what is your company's history? Or, can you please describe all the features of your product or service? Sandler trainers teach salespeople how to create a powerful, high-impact, 30-second commercial they can use to answer the question, what do you do? Or any of its variations, in a way that piques a prospective customer's interest and creates a larger, mutually beneficial business discussion. The approach we use works in all industries. If you build your own effective 30-second commercial and incorporate it into your LinkedIn profile, you will dramatically improve your profile's effectiveness as a marketing and sales tool. What do you do? To create a good 30-second commercial, consider the what do you do question from the point of view of a prospect in pain who eventually turned into your happy customer. Then, start writing and rewriting. For instance, You might write, "We specialize in custom-designed inventory management systems for manufacturing and distribution operations. We've been particularly successful with companies in the XYZ industries that are concerned about the costs associated with inaccurate inventory counts, unhappy with frequent paperwork bottlenecks that slow down the fulfillment process, or disappointed by the amount of time it takes to reconcile purchasing, invoicing, and shipping records. We've been able to create hand-in-glove inventory management systems that help our customers save time, attention, and money." Sales Accelerator. A good 30-second commercial uses hot-button words that connect directly to human emotion, such as concerned, unhappy, and disappointed. These are the sentiments a prospect in pain experiences. Notice that the previous commercial focuses only on problems that a specific type of prospect would recognize. There are no company or personal histories or feature dumps. Also notice that, true to its name, the 30-second commercial doesn't go on forever. If something like this isn't on your LinkedIn profile, you're at a competitive disadvantage. By the numbers. Your LinkedIn profile should answer the perennial question, is what this person does relevant to me? It should specify a particular industry. Members who have an industry listed on their profile receive on average 15 times more profile views than those who don't. Chapter 4. 3 LinkedIn Profile No-Brainers. Enhance your visibility and your impact with likely buyers. It's surprising how many salespeople overlook these 3 simple steps for optimizing their LinkedIn profile. As I go over them, ask yourself, how many have you completed? No-brainer number 1. Complete your LinkedIn profile to 90% plus and keep it current. The first step toward improving your social selling is making sure your LinkedIn profile facilitates sales rather than inhibits them. Here are the essentials for having a complete profile. By the numbers. 50% of B2B buyers say they won't work with sales professionals who have an incomplete profile. 1. Picture profile. Adding a picture makes your profile 7 times more likely to be viewed by others, so make sure you have one that shows you at your professional best. And 2. Custom URL. LinkedIn assigns a generic URL to your profile, but a custom URL looks more professional. In addition, adding your custom URL to your email signature will increase the likelihood of others engaging with you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn Lesson. You can customize your public profile URL when you edit your public profile. Custom public profile URLs are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Here's what you do. 1. Move your cursor over Profile at the top of your homepage and select Edit Profile. 2. Click the URL link under your profile photo. It will be an address like www.linkedin.com/in/your-name. 3. Under the Public Profile URL section on the right, click the Edit icon next to your URL. 4. Type the last part of your new custom URL in the text box. And finally 5. Click Save. Summary. This is where you can share your skills and expertise and create a compelling story of how you can provide value to your prospects. If you are in sales, your summary should speak to your ideal buyer. After making sure everything is current, try scheduling a monthly or quarterly reminder to analyze your profit for additional upgrade opportunities. Whether it's gaining a recommendation from an esteemed colleague, or adding a certification or accomplishment, keep adding recent credits and accomplishments. No prospect has ever looked at a profile and said, "Whoa, this sales rep is a little too credible and trustworthy." By the numbers. Listing your education details on your LinkedIn profile makes you 10 times more likely to draw profile views than people who don't. No-brainer number 2. Add at least one multimedia presentation. An effective way to grab your prospect's attention is by adding multimedia content to your profile. Pertinent links, videos, SlideShare presentations, and white papers Go a step beyond simply telling your prospects what you can do to actually showcasing your value. Your marketing department can be a good source of this content if you haven't created any yourself. Start out by adding one piece of multimedia content this month. Revisit it throughout the year, adding new content whenever you think it will provide value to your clients and prospects. And finally, no-brainer number 3. Easy on the I. You may be tempted to spend most of your profile text talking about yourself. That's a mistake. The goal of your profile must be to catch and hold the attention and interest of a specific group of people, your target market. That means it can't be all about you. Too many LinkedIn profiles make it look like the salesperson is looking to get hired. The work history section of your profile shouldn't read like a resume. Update it to be a more personal description of what you accomplished at each of your jobs, and connect each of those accomplishments to a specific pain or problem that is typically experienced by your ideal prospect. In a nutshell, your profile should say, not, "Here's how wonderful I am," but, "Here's the outcome we help people like you accomplish." Remember, the star of the show is not you, nor your company history, nor the features of your product or service. It's the result you deliver consistently to your happy customers. Make sure your profile is focused narrowly on the real-world business problems of your chosen market. Paint a mental picture for the reader of the outcome that you can provide that resolves those problems. Build out the summary section of your profile by including things that are of value to the people who are going to read your profile, even if what you find seemingly has nothing to do with your company. Find the best articles related to your industry, pick one, and put that article into your profile so that it becomes a resource. The Trusted Advisor. These 3 simple steps, completing your LinkedIn profile, adding a multimedia presentation, and de-emphasizing the I factor, will allow you to showcase yourself as a credible, trusted advisor with whom it is easy to work. Here's the best part. Your LinkedIn profile is always working for you, whether you are logged on or not. Chapter 5. Make sure your LinkedIn profile calls the prospect to action. Invite your reader to reach out to you via LinkedIn in your summary. The first section of your LinkedIn profile that people see is the summary. It should come right out and say that you are open to conversations with people who could benefit from a professional relationship with you, and it should say how to start that conversation. The kind of call to action language we're talking about, simple but routinely overlooked by salespeople, might read like this. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to talk about X, where X is the problem you solve or the value you add. That's the first and most important call to action you should build into your profile. If possible, include your email and telephone information. By the numbers. Many summaries on LinkedIn are too short. You have plenty of room to include a strong call to action in your summary. A summary of more than 40 words dramatically increases your likelihood of turning up in a LinkedIn search. Other calls to action. In addition to your summary's invitation to connect, you should consider building other calls to action into your profile, both direct and indirect. A direct call to action could be an invitation to request a special report of direct interest to your target audiences. An indirect call to action might be a link to some kind of rich media that directs to a landing page that captures information about your prospect. Whatever freemium you offer as a call to action, it should be linked directly to the problem you solve and the value you and your organization add by solving that problem. By the numbers. Unless your target audience is exclusively domestic, avoid calls to action that mention specific countries, currencies, or localities. Your LinkedIn profile is accessible to over 300 million professionals in over 200 countries and territories. Make the call to action crystal clear. People need to know the next steps in your purchase process, and your LinkedIn profile should offer at least one such next step. Make it simple. Make it impossible to miss. Make it easy to take. If you don't give people a clear call to action, they won't know what to do with the information, insights, or intelligence you have provided or hinted at in your profile. The call to action should give them a chance to find out a little more about what working with you would be like. If potential clients are in any way confused about what to do after seeing your message, they will decide to look elsewhere for answers. Probably your competition's website. In a nutshell, make sure there is a clear step-by-step process in place for people whose interest you've aroused with your profile. It might sound like this. To get our free white paper on the 3 most common mistakes people make when handling X challenge, click here. Chapter 6. Harness the power of third-party endorsements. Make sure your profile provides social proof that you and your organization can deliver. Social proof can take many forms and can be delivered through any number of channels. The social proof that shows up on your LinkedIn profile should point toward at least one recent downloadable case study and should be supported by recent endorsements and recommendations from your network of LinkedIn contacts. One thing a lot of salespeople are afraid to do is go back to the customer after the fact and ask for a recommendation. Sales professionals should be doing this systematically. It's important to know who your best customers are, and you should be willing to ask them specifically for recommendations on LinkedIn. Social proof. A recent article in Forbes magazine defined social proof as a psychological phenomenon where people assume the actions of others reflect correct behavior for a given situation. Social proof on LinkedIn is not a nice-to-have. It is a must-have. What you say about your product, service, or company, the claims you make, are not likely to be that different from what your competitors are saying about their product, service, or company. It's the social proof verifying what you say, the recommendations, endorsements, and case studies you get from those who have used your service, have been satisfied with it, and are willing to tell why, that adds value to your message. Potent quote. It is not uncommon for someone to tell me after viewing my LinkedIn profile and reading the recommendations that this is a deciding factor on whether or not to contact me and or use my services. In a nutshell, when you say you can do something, a prospect might take that with a grain of salt. But when 10 other people for whom you've done a good job step forward and say, yes, not only has he done it, but he's done it more quickly and less expensively than we expected, that adds value and credence to your message and gives prospective buyers a reason to take another step with you. When a prospect who is looking to buy something comes across your profile and sees that lots of different people who work at lots of different companies all have something nice to say about you, that opens up trust. It adds professionalism and credibility to your profile. Your profile is not complete unless it has this kind of social proof. How much should you help? Sometimes salespeople ask whether it's okay to craft the actual language of a recommendation for them on LinkedIn. It's not. If you have to craft the final wording of the recommendation, it's not truly genuine. With that said, it's common for some people to say to a salesperson, I would love to give you a recommendation, but I'm a horrible writer. Can you give me an idea of what you're looking for? In these cases, it's all right to give the person a list of possible bullet points or to show the person the kinds of recommendations other clients have provided. That kind of help can start the process, but the final language needs to be your client's, not yours. By the numbers. You are 12 times more likely to be viewed for potential opportunities if you have more than one position listed on your profile. Chapter 7. Play straight. Don't game the system. It makes your profile look amateur. There are people out there who type the word process management and then copy and paste it into their LinkedIn profile 50 times or so. It looks absolutely ridiculous, and it doesn't work. If your profile looks like all you're trying to do is play the system, what kind of message are you sending to the world? Are you showing that you are a professional person, committed to integrity, communicating clearly, and delivering solid value? Not with those kinds of games. Keep it real. Of course, if it makes sense to mention the term process management in your profile, and if you end up doing that 5 or 6 times without looking like you're trying to fool a piece of software, that's a different story. If you can find creative ways to build a certain word or phrase into your profile unobtrusively, while staying authentic and maintaining the message of professionalism that you're sending out to the world, it's not a problem. Your aim is to come across as, and be, someone who can be trusted, not someone who's out to pull a fast one. The same basic principle applies to all your interactions on LinkedIn. But it's particularly important to remember as you put together and regularly update your profile. From a personal and professional branding standpoint, if you want to be found under excellent leadership or management or any other category, your best bet is not to repeat the phrase as many times as possible. Take advantage of the work others in your organization have already done. Find the latest material your marketing department has put together around that key phrase, and then build their content into your profile. In a nutshell, don't repeat words or phrases in your profile robotically. Other examples of gaming the system to avoid. Unfortunately, keyword stuffing isn't the only example of game playing to be found in LinkedIn profiles. You should also avoid the following. 1. Fake or ghost-written recommendations. LinkedIn is all about relationships with real people you know. Don't pretend to know people you don't. Avoid putting words in people's mouths. 2. Exaggerated or misleading career information. Don't say you have experience you don't. This will always backfire. It's only a question of when. 3. Mentioning high-profile contacts who have no idea who you are. If someone would be surprised to see you mentioning him or her in your profile, don't do it. And 4. Passing along links you haven't actually used or visited. Only include verifiable, authentic links in your profile that actually add value for your target prospect. Chapter 8. Company Pages 101. Post a snapshot of the pain your company removes. Your company page will reap major benefits if you work with your marketing colleagues to create a powerful 30-second commercial for your company as a whole, as opposed to a 30-second commercial for a single salesperson. This is a very brief capsule summary of your product or service offering that tells prospective buyers about a pain or problem that is familiar to them and how your company alleviates that pain. Notice that a good 30-second commercial is not a recitation of your company's history, or its founder, or the names of its products and services. Here, for instance, is the 30-second commercial that doesn't work. Logistical Planning Associates is a full-service software application development firm founded in 1982 by a guy you never heard of. We are located in Anywhere, USA, with satellite offices in Littletown, Midburg, and Large City, USA. Our company motto is Quality, Value, and Service. We specialize in inventory management, and we have over 100 qualified programming professionals who are focused like a laser beam on living up to that motto of ours. To learn more about what we do and how we do it, click here. Snore. How much of that is focused on the prospect? 2 little words buried in the middle. Inventory management. A good 30-second commercial that focuses on the prospect, by contrast, can lay the foundation for a compelling LinkedIn company page. Listen to this example. Logistical Planning Associates specializes in custom-designed inventory management systems for manufacturing and distribution operations. We've been particularly successful with companies in the XYZ industries that are concerned about the costs associated with inaccurate inventory counts, unhappy with frequent paperwork bottlenecks that slow down the fulfillment.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?